All right, guys, so this is going to be just a quick video that I wanted to share with you guys. Unfortunately, we lost a pretty big influencer in the B58 community, BMW community, overall car community. 1STOCKF30, also known as Andre Beetle, unfortunately passed away on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. So first of all, to all of his family and friends, I want to pay my condolences. I'm really sorry for your loss. I didn't know him personally. I messaged him through DMs and stuff like that. But there are a lot of people that were much closer than him that have been, making posts and stuff, sharing their experience with him. And so obviously he had a really broad and widespread effect on the car community and a lot of people where he was from. And so, I apologize and I'm sorry for your loss. I also just wanted to address probably one of the more common comments and things that people are discussing out there about safety. And I'm a little bit amped up right now because I keep seeing people make the same comments that are pretty misinformed or just jumping to conclusions. And I want to try to address all of that in this video because a lot of people really just don't understand. Either you don't know what you're looking at or you don't understand how safety stuff actually works. So first of all, let's talk about what happened. He was racing on the street, at a street they typically race on, doing a drag race. And at the top of the quarter mile, you basically see his car just shoot out like a big puff of smoke. And then his car just veers off the road pretty much immediately. And he shoots off into the grass. He hits like a barrier, like a wall on the side of the highway. And it looked like his car just exploded. I couldn't tell exactly what happened. There are videos and pictures out there, but I'm not going to share them in this video. But his car was just completely destroyed. You saw his wheels and tires and control arms, subframe, like everything was split out all over the road. His car itself was almost cut in half, like one side of it and the back was completely missing. And unfortunately, he was ejected from the car. So they found him a ways away. And they called the ambulance and they came and did what they could, but unfortunately he didn't make it. So probably the first and most common thing I hear people talking about is he should have worn a seatbelt. And first of all, I don't know anybody that was there that said that he didn't have a seatbelt on. People are making this assumption because they've seen a video of him in the past driving without a seatbelt. However you feel about that is fine. I understand seatbelts are safe, but in this situation, that's not something that's going to protect you. I hope most of you realize that, but for those of you that don't, this is your message. A seatbelt does not save you when you're doing 160 plus miles an hour and run into a wall. If you're going 160 to 0 in an instant, that is something that is almost completely impossible to survive. And even if you do, it's very likely that your life is going to be completely changed after the fact. So trying to minimize what happened and just say, oh, he should have worn a seatbelt is completely out of pocket. That has nothing to do with anything in this scenario. The other thing I've seen people say is, oh, how does he have a car that's so fast and he doesn't have a roll bar? He doesn't have a roll cage. And I also want to remind you, the little 4-point auto power bars that people do with the rear seat delete and they bolt it in the back of their car and now they think it's invincible, absolutely would not protect you in this sort of scenario either. Again, the problem is he's doing probably at or near his trap speed and then spins off and runs into something and goes to 0 in an instant. That's not something that's going to protect you in that scenario. It can help you if the car rolls over. It can prevent the roof from hitting your head, but that's not going to save you in this kind of scenario. The other thing I hear a lot of people saying is his seats weren't bolted down right, or he should have had a harness, or all these other things. And again, I don't think you guys truly understand how safety requirements come into play. When you look at a track and how things are set up to run at a track, it's because it's a controlled environment where you can do everything in the car together to create a scenario that is safe at the track. There's a reason why most things that are required for the track are not street legal. You can't drive around with a harness. That's not street legal. Roll bars, harness bars, all of that are not street legal. Most racing seats are not street legal. So saying just because the car is fast, he should have had all of this stuff installed on his car doesn't automatically mean that it would be safe. It's dangerous on the street in a lot of scenarios. So I just want to reiterate that to you guys. Don't minimize this and just say, if he had just done A, B, and C, he would have been completely fine. That's not how this works. We are taking a risk. And I say we, yes, I know I'm a part of the problem too. I talk about racing and stuff like that, and it's something that most of us see as a really quick, easy, cheap thrill. You know, go out with our friends, get some racing in, line up, and see how we stack up with each other's cars. But this is a risk. This is a risk that we take on every single time we go on the street, because it's not a controlled environment like the track. You're taking a chance on anything that could happen. My understanding is in this scenario, something let go. So either oil, coolant, trans fluid, you know, something either broke or head lifted or something. And that's what that puff of smoke was. And so while he's driving over it, of course, it hits his wheels. Instantly, he loses traction, and that's what caused him to lose control. So it's not that he did something wrong. It's not that he didn't know how to drive. Nobody hit him. He did not hit the person that was next to him. It was something just completely out of nowhere that nobody could predict or control in that scenario. It's just bad all around. Even I want to reiterate something else. If you guys are wearing harnesses on the street, even just a harness with a helmet, and you don't have a Hans device, you're putting yourself at risk as well. Because if you get into a fender bender or rear end somebody or spin off and hit a wall in the same way, your body is going to stay in the car and go to zero, but your head is not. That's why they have Hans devices. Most of you probably don't even know what those are, but a Hans device is a head and neck restraint. That's something that's going to keep your head with your body, because you can look up historical references like Dale Earnhardt and some of these other guys that get in an accident, and when their body stops with the car, your head keeps going forward and it can sever your spine. Even if a full roll cage, if he had the roof blocked out, everything completely certified to the top spec roll cage, and you drive with that on the street without a helmet on, and you hit your head on the roll bar because you get into a minor accident, that can knock you out, cause a concussion, or kill you. Something that's perfectly safe and required on the track does not dictate what is safe on the street. So again, trying to get off my soapbox here, but do not minimize the situation. Stop saying, oh, he should have just did this, this, and that. At the end of the day, this is a risk that we take when we do street racing. If you don't want to take that risk, take it to the track. That is the safest way to do these things. Thanks for watching.